Good evening all. Today we are going to see the module 3, which is OOPS properties basically. So basically OOPS have four properties which we already discussed, like encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism and inheritance. And in this most of the time they are whenever they are explaining about the OOPS concept, they didn't say that abstraction it's not like in the OOPS concept. So because abstraction is somewhere related to encapsulation, so that's why they are not separately teaching that. But here we are going to see about that also, like as I say, OOPS having a four features like encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance and polymorphism. Okay, and what is encapsulation? Okay, so by normal case we will do one by one here. Today only simple things we will see with the examples. So four OOPS properties which I mentioned: encapsulation, inheritance and polymorphism. Okay, number one, encapsulation. So we'll see the definition one by one: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and number four is polymorphism. Okay, so whenever we are talking about any concept, we have to know what is that, why this, about this, any types it has. If it is have a type, you can say about the type, use of it, and we can say the final implementation. Okay, so now for this we will do one by one. What is encapsulation? Encapsulation means hiding detail from the user. Okay, so hiding details, or you can say hiding data in the technical way, hiding data. Okay, and why encapsulation? Okay, for security. Okay, to for data security. And types, in encapsulation there is no types. Okay, and use of encapsulation, you can say used to hiding uh, unwanted details from user. Okay, and now the last part we will see about the implementation. That means the programming implementation. In Java, encapsulation is implemented by private modifier. Okay, anyway, this private modifier we will see in the fourth module, but still here also we will see. If I say my member is private, that means it is accessible on the same class where it is declared. Okay, so in the bracket I written only what is private modifier: provide access in the same class where it declared. Okay, this is what the definition of private modifier. Okay, so and in Java this is there, and implementation we can say. In this way we are going to see one by one. First let us go through everything and see one by one example. And now coming to abstraction, what is abstraction? Hiding, that is hiding a data. This is hiding a reference, or you can say hiding implementation. Okay, and this is why abstraction, as you can say, only providing a um, overview of, and all, or you can say implementation, abstracting the details. Okay, so why means you can say abstracting the details from user, and there is no types of it, so I'm not writing any types here. Used to provide a guideline or overview of object that how to use it. Okay, like you can say example, I can say that uh, any if you are buying any mobile, like how to operate that mobile I know, but I don't know how it is operated. Like press a on button, I know if I on the button if it will on, but I don't know how it is happening. Okay, okay, so actually that uh, what is happened I know, what is happened by that object, but um, don't know how it is implemented. That means the functionality part. Okay, that means the functionality part that we don't know. So hiding a implementation, right? It's right actually. So hiding implementation, or you can say the functionality. Okay, okay. And whatever next is implementation. Implementation is nothing but that in how we are using it. Okay, and here the same case. Implementation, how to do that, implemented by abstract class and method. Okay, so and next is your inheritance. Move to the inheritance here. So what is inheritance? Inheritance means extending the behavior of another object. Extends means using that. Why means reusability purpose. Use to reuse the class members again by another class. Okay, and types of it has a type. Okay, there are 4 types of inheritance. Number 1 is single inheritance. And second is your multi-level, and third is our hierarchical, and fourth we have multiple inheritance. Okay, and this is what are the types and how we can implement inheritance in Java by using extends and extends, or I can say or implements keyword. Okay, so it's like implements. Fine. So this is the part, and next we go to the polymorphism. So what is polymorphism? One object have many forms. Object with many forms, or one object have many forms. Okay, anywhere we can say which is right and flexible. Let's say that object and object with many forms. Why polymorphism? Reduce declaration of method, and you can say the members. Okay, reduce declaration or reduce complexity of by providing for complexity of providing different name. Reduce complexity of providing different name to methods. Okay, and used to um, reuse the functionality with same name but provide different implementation. Okay, and next is the last part. There is, yes, of course, there is a types of polymorphism we have. Types are, one is static. There are different name. Okay, so first no note down this different name. One is static polymorphism. The name of a static, another name of static polymorphism is compile time. And we have a static binding, or we can say early binding. Okay, these are the different names of static polymorphism. And let us move to the second one, which is a dynamic polymorphism. Let us see the naming reason why it is having this and why it is having that. So if you are saying compile time, you are supposed to say runtime polymorphism. And if you are saying static binding, you are supposed to say dynamic binding. And the early binding means here it becomes late binding. So everything have the same name. Okay, and how to implement this? Okay, based on the type we can implementation is also happening. Okay, so if you want to implement a static polymorphism, that means two types we can implement based on the types. Okay, so if you want to do the static polymorphism, so you want to overload a method, overloading to be performed. Mention I'm writing by overloading, and dynamic polymorphism by override. Sorry, so dynamic polymorphism by override. Okay, so these are the four properties which we have in a OOPS: abstraction, inheritance, encapsulation, and polymorphism. Okay, by overloading. And what is overloading? Okay, so let us discuss that also. Okay, and we will going to see that example of one by one now. What is overloading? Overloading means I can, what are the things can overload? Can over in Java, overloaded, or method and constructor I can overload. That means the members of a class can be overloaded. In this, only possibility is I can overload method and constructor. Okay, and we can say that override. Okay, overriding means I only do that method overriding in Java. Okay, so these are the overloading and overriding. So overloading is how we can say Method and constructor I can overload. Okay, but how we can explain is method or constructor with same name. Okay, different parameter implemented in the same class. But if you are talking about overriding method, here the constructor cannot be override. For that reason we will see later. So but method with same name, parameter must be same, implemented in child. Okay, so in the same class we can say implemented in child class. So it is not overloading is not dependent on inheritance, whereas overriding is dependent on. Okay, so okay, so now see one by one example. So I am opening an NetBeans here. Okay, so first we are going to see the implementation of encapsulation by using which member, private members. Okay, so please listen carefully one by one. It's NetBeans. I'm opening. Okay, and let us go through the slide also somewhere. Introduction to OOPS. Encaps and hiding implementation object from its clients. It's provide abstraction. That's why see encaps and abstraction some separate external view from internal view. Encaps and provide the integrity. That means it only provide that how the function is happening, but this part is hidden from you. So this is encapsulation. The view of your any object is nothing but the interface, or you can say it's nothing but the abstraction. Encapsulation hiding an object implementation and interface that should be visible. We should make it difficult and reach in and alter another object state. For that matter, the main concept is secure, and but you should not aware about how those services are accomplished. This is C. You can see that abstraction. Okay, we know what is happening, how to do that, but we know how those services are accomplished. That is nothing but the abstraction. So I'm pass it for 2 seconds. Please note it down. Okay, so abstraction means again it hiding details, but hiding detail is not a right word. Hiding a functionality from the user, how it is happening, hiding functionality. Okay, that we can tell properly. And see, encapsulation nothing but the black box. Also, you can say it is hidden to the client, and it have a interface methods also. And see, these are the principles of encapsulation. Don't ask how I do it, but this is what I can do. I don't care how, just do your job and I'll do mine. So it's depends upon the object to another object. It is showing this is for the same thing. It is encapsulated object. And how to encapsulate members of a class must be declared with the minimum level of visibility. So here the minimum level of visibility what I was providing here is a private. Okay, we only one minimum level of visibility we can provide. To don't want to access by the other class, I make it as a private. Provide setter and getters to allow control to the private data. See, minimum accessibility is nothing but the private field, and we go to provide access to outside the class. We want to create a public setter and getter method. Provide other public method that other object must add into in order to interact with the object. See, if I for that let us go for the example. I show you how it is. So let me create a new project. Encapsulation demo. And here we are having see, this is my class, and here I have a private members. Okay, so just create on a class here. Main should be, I see whenever I'm adding an object, I make a main method as it is. I don't want to disturb this. So whenever you are declaring any other class, so just make it as a not, it does not make it as a public. Okay, so class, here I'm making some which class I can make, class person. Okay, so I make it as a person here. Fine. And here person name and person email id is person contact number. This part of details I'm getting from the user. So but this detail I don't want to give it to anyone, so I make it as a private, the private int id. See here, this is nothing but declaring a variable. I give the access specifier, like I where I have to access, where I don't want to access. So I don't want to access it outside this class. That means I don't want to give it to encapsulation demo about this id. So for that case, what I was doing, I made my members as private. Okay, private. Here I providing a string name. And one more thing, keep it in mind, in Java, string is starts with caps, and string is a class in Java. Okay, and private int contact number, private string email id. Fine. So we have all the most of the members within the minimum accessibility. So this is how we can provide a member as minimum accessibility. My class person have a minimum accessibility members. Okay. So let's see. I am not giving any value over here, but I want to display it as it is. Okay. And by creating an object. So we are going to check whether it have a private access or not. That means access means I don't want to provide access outside the class, so that's why I made it as private. Let's test whether it is happening or not. Is it accessing or not accessing? Okay, and for that, create an object. Whenever you want to create use any member of a class, first you are doing creating in a object. We discussed in the second module. Okay, so here the constructor is created, and p dot, you people can see you didn't get any members which I declared here, like id, name, contract number, and anything. So because if I was trying to do that p id equal to 101 or 102, what I discussed, what it is showing here, id has a private access in person. So that means I'm not directly accessing this private member, okay, outside the class. So what is the possibility? That means private member. Here I'm writing that sentence again. Okay, p dot id equal to 102. Okay, and I comment it and write down the definition. Okay, this line is wrong because private members cannot be get accessed outside the class. Fine. Then what is the right way to do that? So that means if it is not providing, then why I have to make my member as private? See, so in this case, like whenever needed, I want to provide. In some cases, I don't want to provide. Okay. So you got one interview question over here. So how to access private member outside the class? Okay. Here I'm writing how to access private member outside the class. So this is the question. What is the answer for this? Okay. So either how to access a private member outside the class, either use getter or setter method, getter or you can say and, or I'm using either, you can say getter or setter, any one of the method as per your flexibility, and for or using public method. So we can access a private member outside the class by using public method. Okay. So here I am going to use a getter and setter. So how to add it, just note down. Right click wherever you need that method, just click inside a class, just click, don't give it over here. So inside a class, declare it and right click insert code. Here you people can see getter setters at the same time, or you can say getter setter different way. Okay, so I'm giving getter For all the member I want to access, okay, I make it as generating. You people can see get id, set id, get name, set name. Okay, and what is the difference between a getter and setter? Okay, getter have a return type, whereas it contains a return statement also, and setter does not have a return type, but it takes a parameter. Okay, so this is the case, and this dot id is pointing to your instance variable. Yesterday we discussed what is instance variable, and this id is my local variable. Fine. So this value is stored in your instance, and you can display it outside. Matlab, through this method I can display it. Okay, fine. So this is the way how we are generating a getter and setter. Just now you can see what is getter and setter. Setter and getters allow control access to class data. Setters are the method that alter the state of an object. That means I can change the value. Like ID, name I provided, I can provide a value of ID and name and use setters to validate before changing the object state. And getters only return information. You only see getter only have a return statement here. It only return a information and getter to format data before returning the objects. Okay, here the some encapsulation example. So just go through it afterwards and pass it for 2 seconds. Okay, so yeah, so here they are using n numbers of members, and here what are the privacy? Most of the time they are providing a members, everything is a private, and these are my private members, these are the private static members. Okay, so we will discuss about static detail in the fourth module. Okay, and this is how they are in. Okay, what are the benefits of encapsulation? Before going with that, let us complete this example. Okay, and how I can access. Okay, now first I want to set a value. Okay, here p dot set id. First I have to set the value here. Which are the values I am passing? This 20 is passed here and store it in my instance variable with the help of this keyword, because both are having a same name. Okay, so that's why this keyword is used. We will see the definition of this also. And return to return id, we are having a get method. Okay, so I'm set the value. For set all the four values I'm setting it. P dot set name. Name is a string, so whenever you are giving a value of a string, you have to give it in the double quotes. I'm providing some name here, and here I'm giving p dot set contact number. So contact number, what I mentioned is the int or flow char. Okay, I made it as an integer. Fine. So whenever you want to see that the method is what, so just control and click. Okay, so it will take you to that particular place, and here the contact number. So I'm giving something 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, and p dot email id, set email id. It's a string. Okay, for string I'm basing j at the rate gmail.com. These are the details of a user I'm using through the object. Okay, and p dot printing that what I was like returning that value, p dot get id. Okay, p dot get name and p dot get contact number, p dot get email id. If I was doing this, what is your expectation now? If I run this program, it's supposed to print all this detail and show it to me. Okay, you now see it is not printing anything. Why? Because in Java, return statement is simply it takes the value and simply return it, but it is not printing it. So for printing that value, what is the concept we have? We have a system.out.println. So in this you have to write down the value. So now p dot get id. Okay, so same way we are going to do for the now. If you want to check, just check now. The id is printed. The same way we are going to printing the name and then everything. So yes out. So inside this I am using Okay, this much. If you do that, then all the details are stored. If you want to add an additional detail like the IDs, whatever, you can do it. Okay, so this way we are performing accessing a private member outside the class. This program is the answer of this question. How to access a private member outside the class by using getter setter method or using public method. Okay, if your class only have a setter method, okay, okay, so I'm note it down here, please. I'm writing here, just note it down. If a class have private member and setter method only, then it is write only class. What class it is? It's a write only class. If a class, same case, have a private member and getter method, then getter method is returning something, so then it is read only class. If a class have private member and both getter setter methods, both getter setter methods, then it is read write class. Okay, so now our class is basically a read write class. Okay, we have, because it has a getter and setter, both the things. Okay, this is the way how we can access a private member. And then before, which we simply we have a member and we have some methods over here, that how we can implement encapsulation. This is a program to implement a encapsulation. Write a program to implement encapsulation using private members. Fine. So this is the way how we can implement a encapsulation. So now next going to the, that's what we discussed in Java, implement a private modifier, private in the same class where it is, provide access in the class where it is declared. Okay. You can see I'm accessing here itself only inside the same class, but in the public method. Here it's possible, but not. This is a different class. Here I'm not able to access it. So that's why I'm using which method? Public method, or you can say this is the getter and setter method. Okay. Fine. Now coming to the implementer abstraction. Okay, so I'm adding a new project, find new project. And what is abstraction, guys? It's nothing but hiding a functionality from the user. Okay, I'm writing abstraction demo. Okay, so here, okay, abstraction demo, I made it almost here. Okay, but anyway, I made it a new thing. Okay, uh, how to implement abstraction, what I mentioned here, just go through the points to provide a guideline or overview of which, but don't know how it is implemented. Okay, implemented by abstract class or method. That means here we need to study about a class abstract and class abstract method of that class. Okay, so why abstract class is needed? As I mentioned, overview or simply it contains a declaration. Okay, you can see I made a min class shape. Okay, so let us take an example class shape. Fine, but in the shape class, I am finding an area. I have a method area. But if I was asking question, what is the area of shape? Any formulas you are having? There is no formula of area of a shape. Okay, so shape means any one of the shape like circle or rectangle. But shape we are giving a common name. So here this area method doesn't have any implementation. Here my shape area shape class area method doesn't have any implementation. So in this case I only want to declare a method. So don't want to give any implementation of this. Like this way I don't want to provide any implementation. That means in between I don't want to write anything. In this case what I was doing, I simply declared it. I simply declared it. So, but in as per the rule of class, it is not possible to declaring a method as it is in the simple class. So, if I made it as a abstract, that means it is possible. So, if you don't want to give any implementation, you have to mark your method as abstract. So because of your method abstract, your classes also become abstract. So here you can see the suggestion what it is giving: make class abstract or create a subclass. Okay, I make it as a class as abstract. I'm taking a, then now it is possible. So abstract class is declared with the keyword abstract, and method also. In abstract class I have a abstract method as well as a non-abstract method. See, so void I'm giving some greet method here, void greet. Okay, in s out, welcome to shape class. Okay, here you can see I have a abstract method, the simply declaration method also. I have a declare implemented method also. That means the full complete implementation method also. That means your abstract class have, I'm writing here, abstract class one by one is declared with abstract keyword, have abstract and concrete method. That means in abstract class, the method which has implementation, the name of that method is a concrete method. You can see here the greet is a which method? This is abstract method, and this is a concrete method. Fine. So it has a abstract and concrete method. Can have, I say any one also it can contain. So you are not supposed to say both should be there. Can have abstract and concrete method, or simply abstract method, or simply concrete method. That means abstract class uh, can be declared without abstract method. See, what is the meaning of this? If I remove this line, okay, it will not show you any error. But if you have one abstract method, sorry, if you have one abstract method, your class also marked as abstract. Because of your method, your class become abstract. Okay, or your class is abstract but it doesn't have any abstract method, it doesn't make any problem. Okay, but because but if you don't have any abstract method, no need to keep a class also as abstract. Okay, but why abstraction is needed? So abstraction only contain a declaration. Okay, abstraction only contain declaration and need to implement by child. So abstraction is dependent on inheritance. Abstraction is dependent on inheritance. So that means if you want to use a member of this abstract class, what you are supposed to do, you have to create a, you have to extend it by other class. Okay, class circle and extends, what I was going to extend, shape. Okay, you can see selected shape. Okay, now I can use a member of this abstract class. Now you can see when I was extending a shape, my shape is abstract class, so it must implemented. Okay, content declaration and must implemented by, I can write must implemented by child. So the abstract method must implemented by a child. So here it is asking implement all abstract method, or you have to make a class abstract. So I make a implemented a abstract method over here. Inside this I can write my own implementation. For circle I can find out the area. So what I was doing, I'm declaring one variable here, or pi r square only. So here for r I am declaring value int r. Here I am providing a value of r. Okay, and area, okay, pi r square is the value. So we have one class like math dot pi, which actually provide a pi value like this. It's a final variable. Okay, so math dot power is not there, it's math dot pi. Okay, what is that? Math dot pi into r into r square, so r into r. So this is the way how we can what's the value of a pi r square. Okay, so now area method is done, but how greeting method, you want to only print this value. Okay, so for that case, okay, I want to go, because whenever I'm extending a parent class, all the member of the class is inherited by a child. So the same implementation, if you want to keep it, so don't no need to override it. Okay, if you want a different implementation, and here it's must implemented, because here doesn't have any definition, so it must be implemented, so I override it. Okay, but if you don't want a different implementation, no need to override it. So I want to keep a welcome to shape class as it is. So now create an object of which class? I have a two classes now, shape and a circle. Okay, so but shape method, I'm creating an object of shape class, which is abstract class. Okay, but I'm instantiating a circle. So you people aware about this, if you create an instantiation of any class, here only the member of the class is allocated. So this constructor is allocating member, because memory of this own class, own member also, plus additionally parent class also. So here abstract class is whom? My parent, and my circle is a child class. Okay, so now math pi r square and the shape. Now you can see h1 dot, if I write greet, it is taking, greet is a method of shape. Okay, it is taking here only. Now s1 dot area. So now this area, it having, you can see it takes you to the implement here only. But how it is printing my this method, for that checking, we almost know that we to put a breakpoint. Okay, so I put a breakpoint here also, I put here also, and it put here also. Fine. So now check how the flow is happening. Control shift F5. Okay, now it is creating a, now you can see the object is created for circle, not a shape. Okay, and the r, it is providing a value r equal to 10. You can see once this line is executed, instance variable memory is also allocated, the r values become 10 here. Okay, so now press F5. Now this is taking a current class, this is a welcome to a shape class, and now printing s1 dot area. Here you have to be remind s1 is fine. So once it declared area, circle area is added int r, and once I done this, it is taking this value. So now you can see it is taking pi r square I was providing, it is not going to here this abstract area method. Okay, so it has a reference, area has a reference of abstract method here, but the implementation is done by circle, so the implementation is executed over here. So this is the way how we can implement a abstraction. Okay, so this is how we can do abstraction. And if you want to override a concrete method of abstract class, so simple way, almost we did with the setter and getter, right click insert code. Here you can get a override method, here you can see greet. Okay, so non-abstract class method can be overridden manually, but abstract class must be overridden. Okay, here if you want to pass some other, welcome to circle class. So I am writing this. Now you can see which method it is taking. So I put a, okay, now also I am putting a greet, same example, but a greet method is overridden in the child also. Now see which method is get executed. So control shift F5. Okay, s1 dot greet. Okay, now you can see it takes you to the child greet class. Okay, it takes you to the child greet class. So whenever it coming to the part of method, first the priority is given to a child. Okay, child, and if the child does not have this method, it takes you to the parent. Okay, so now you can say, see here s1 dot area is also here. It anyway it will run this method only. So now welcome to circle class, and now it's done. Clear with this? So in the method case, I mean, if the greet method is not available in a child, then it goes to parent. So you can see the hierarchy is happening in this way. I'll show you with the example. Let us see the this keyword later. So let me show you the inheritance. See, this is circle and this is shape. Circle is extending a shape. Okay, so how it is happening? See the arrow mark also, it is going down to up. Okay, so circle is storing in a parent. That means child is storing in a parent. Okay, so I can give the name of this as upcasting. What I can give? I can provide upcasting. So upcasting means storing child in parent. In the case of method, it gives a priority to method of child, and it goes if it doesn't have a method of here. So I'll just delete it and run it again. This example. Okay. So control shift F5. So now you can see shape 1. Now the create method is not available in child. So now you can see it goes to your parent shape method to print that. So area. That's it. Understand this? So what is the output you are getting? Shape class. Okay, so these are the things you have to keep it in mind. Implement say I can A is implementing means the daughter lines will be hum, because your parent is interface, I can implement it. Okay, so let it be. Let's see it later. This is the way how we can implement a abstraction. Fine. So in this abstraction, we saw some inheritance. But what type of inheritance it is? It is a single inheritance. Okay. The circle is extended by shape, or shape is extended by circle. So how we can say it's a shape is extended by circle. Okay. Single inheritance, shape extends circle. Or we can say we have to write a circle. Let the shape here extends by circle. So here extends is a keyword. Okay, so by is not there, extends by circle. Okay, multi-level, coming to the part of multi-level. Shape extends by circle, and here my circle is extended by another one class, which is a oval. Okay, here what is happening? Child is becoming a parent now. Child become parent. So I made it as parent. Shape is a parent. Okay, circle is a child, but it is inherited by oval, so then it becomes parent. Okay, so this is a multi-level inheritance, level wise, and hierarchical inheritance. You can see shape is extended by circle, and same shape is also extended by square also, and the same shape is extended by rectangle also. So these are the way we can do it with the, so the one parent multiple childs. Okay, so how we can define it? It's one parent multiple child, and multiple inheritance more than one parent and one child. How it will be? Okay, it will be like shape the parent, it extends by circle, and uh, sorry, shape is extends by oval. I can say oval is a shape also. I can say oval is a part of or another uh, pro, way of circle. Okay, another look of a circle you can say. So I can say oval is also a circle. Okay, so it comes from circle we can say. Okay, so this way, so you can see oval is a single child, it has a two parent. Okay, fine. So this is the way, this is the way. And what I have to do here, there is a two parent and we can say a one child. That's the way. Clear? So this is how the polymorphism. Here the same example we can do for a multi-level inheritance. Okay, so I'm creating a class oval extends circle. So now my circle become parent. Fine. So here no, it is not asking me to override because class is a circle. So if you want to override any method, you can override your any method, or else you can create your own method also. Here I am overriding, and I am overriding a greet method. Okay, so what 1 minute. So here I click set code override method. Yes, now I am getting area. So if you want to call the same area method, so no need to write the functionality. So simply call super dot area. So super is a keyword, okay, which helps to call your parent members. Okay, so through oval class I was calling a method of circle. Okay, and now if you want to change a functionality you can do, or else you can create your own method also. Now one more thing we have to remind, you can see circle is a has a parent shape, oval has a parent circle. So circle has a behavior of shape, whereas oval has a behavior of circle as well as a shape. So here you can see, so right click, insert code, override. Here you can see the shape method also, this grid method also I can call. Understand this? So this way we can access a multi-level inheritance. So for this I don't want to create an object of circle or a shape. Directly I can create a object of oval. Okay, obj1 I am creating, it's new oval, and obj1 dot, you can see I am able to get r also, I am able to area also, I am able to get a grid also. Okay, if you are not overriding it also, then also I am able to get it. Okay, I am overriding it. If I am not, I do one thing, I am not overriding a grid method here, I am overriding only area method, but still also I am able to get it. It refer the shape method only in this case. Welcome to shape class because of this, and welcome to 3.14, and again I'm calling a area method because this area method is calling a super dot area. Super means who is the super parent of this oval. This is nothing but my circle. So circle area method is called here. Okay, for this line only I am putting a breakpoint. Okay, and here also fine. So it comes to this area only, but here it is calling the method of a parent. Fine. The same way here, Control Shift F5. Now object one dot area, it goes to the area of oval. It goes to the area of oval class. From here it is calling a method of parent circle because super keyword is used to do call the members of your parent, and greet method is directly go to your parent because your child oval does not have a greet method. So if doesn't have, then it pass the content or control to your parent to execute the method. Fine. For both the people don't have, then here we are not able to get the reference. Okay, clear. So this is the way how we are implementing a multi-level and hierarchical. Same way you can create a class shape, extend circle, and again class square extend shape, and the class rectangle extends shape. This way we can do, and we can do the implementation. Okay, in the slide we have see single inheritance, hierarchical, multi-level, multiple. See multiple, two parent one child, and here they are, this is possible, this is not possible because this is supported by Java. Why? Because multiple inheritance can be implemented by implementing multiple interfaces, not by extending multiple classes. That means interfaces I can make my parent as, if you want to take the behavior of two parents, one class, one child want to take a behavior of two parent. In this case you want to make your parent as interface. So this is C, this is C comma D. This is possible. I can extend A is a class, C and D must be a interface. If you want to do that, C and D as a dotted line, as I mentioned, C and D is a interface, and Z extends A comma B. It's and C extends A and D extends B. This is not possible. Okay, it's wrong, and again it's also a wrong thing. Defining a subclass, how to do that class, as I mentioned here, you can put your circle, extends, shape. Okay, and variable and method. Extend keyword signify the property of superclass or extended to superclass. Will not inherit private member of super. Again, we almost studied about private members. If your class extends so any other class, but still it's not able to extend the behavior. Now let me make one variable here, or here this variable int or I make it as private. As before, once you create an object of oval, you are able to see the R. Now it is not possible. So the private member cannot accessed by a subclass also. Okay, private, if you make your member as private, okay, where I can write it cannot be extended and cannot be used in subclass also. Okay, so that's what they mentioned here. Whenever the subclass is created, superclass constructor is called first. Okay, for this point let us move to one constructor demo. Okay, how to do the how the parent constructors get called. Super. This is a program to implement a constructor inheritance. Okay, so now let me make one simple class here. Class A, and I have a class B which extends A. Yesterday we saw how to create a constructor. Okay, so I'm doing it again. Right click insert code. Just click constructor. It create on constructor same way. I click insert code, create a constructor. B constructor get created. So now S out. Mm, parent constructor and here S out child constructor. Fine. So now I'm creating an object of B only. Okay. So you know किसके object हम whenever we are creating an object of P, any class for that member only we can access B obj1 equal to new B. So here which constructor is actually created? B constructor. That means supposed to call this only. So now if I run this program, okay, let me run it. It's not providing any output. Okay, let me remove the breakpoint. Okay, okay, fine. Sometime if you are not getting an unfile option, just restart your NetBeans. Okay, so it will be showing. Just open your file. Okay, so now run it. Now you are able to see the run file option. Now you can see once I was declaring here, you know, it is only creating a constructor of child only, but it calls a parent constructor. Whenever a subclass object is created, which constructor is also called first, superclass constructor called first, and then subclass. If your superclass does not have any constructor of its own or has an unparameterized constructor, then it is automatically called by Java runtime by using called super. Okay, so that means superclass constructor do not have any constructor. That means here I remove the constructor or I comment this. Okay, 2 minutes. So here how we can comment it for multiple line command slash star and again slash star. Okay, so this line is commented. Now run this program. It will only show a child constructor, but you people see the main, and here we have the output child constructor is printed. Fine. So but now who is creating the default constructor is created by the JVM by calling which method? Calling a super method. Okay. And if a superclass has a parameterized constructor, then it is a responsibility of subclass constructor to call the superclass constructor by call. Okay. Now this is normal. Okay. And now let me remove this comment. You see, if you don't have a constructor in parent and if you have constructor in child, that is fine. Okay. Now, what I was doing, I'm doing it differently. Slash star and star slash. Is it showing any error? Nothing. So again, now it is printing parent constructor. That's also fine. Okay. Now I'm taking a parameter constructor. Okay. So parameter means I'm calling int a or int name. Okay. Same way, now you can see showing some error. Constructor A in class cannot be applied to given type. That means the constructor which you are declared, if you are not declaring, that's not a problem. If you are declaring, it must match the child also. So if you have a parameter, then same way we have to make it here also. But a constructor in arguments is different in length. Okay, so public B, fine. String name, okay, fine. Okay, so some taking No arguments, found no arguments, it's showing. Okay, let me override it. Wait, let me, not overriding, let me create insert code constructor same way. Okay, so we have to call a super name. Okay, if you're not calling this, then it is showing a error to you. Okay, so here if you have a parent, this is what the meaning of this. If a superclass has a parameter, then it is responsibility of a subclass constructor. That means this constructor must call a superclass constructor by calling it. Okay, by this way. Understand? So this is the meaning of this. Okay, so now if I call this, now here you have to must pass some value. Now see, I am creating an object of a also. A obj1 equal to new a. Here again I am passing some other value Kiran something. Fine. What is it is saying variable object one is already okay. Fine. I am changing the value. In both the case parent constructor and in the output also here also it is providing parent constructor because here also it is calling for understanding. I am writing some more line also. S out child call parent. Now you can see, let me first run it and show it to you, then I'll explain you why it is showing the error. Okay. Whenever you are using super keyword, this must be the first statement in, yeah, any block. If it is a constructor or any method, it must be the first statement. Okay. Super is a keyword to call parent. Call parent constructor and members. Okay. And it must be the first statement. Okay, so I'm using super keyword, but what I was doing here, instead of writing as a first statement, I'm calling as a last statement. So now you can see it's showing some error. Call to super must be the first statement in constructor. So this is what the error. Fine. So these are the things we have to understand about a constructor while using super keyword. Let's see, this is what we discussed. Fine. So now move to the uh, polymorphism. Can be used to call superclass constructor, can refer to the instance variable or methods by using super dot keyword. It must be the first line. When superclass is an unparameterized constructor, see, and this is a constructor of class B. This is how you must call the parent constructor. Then you have to do this. Then this line is optional. Anyway, if you are not calling the super constructor, still it is called by the JVM. Okay, and now file name is inherit1.java. New B. Now you can see new B. I found it going over here. Before going to the child, it goes to parent and print. This is what the example we saw. Now, what is this? This is a class A is also executed, class B also executed. And here what is happening? It has a constructor, but a constructor is a, see here, it's no access specifier is provided. Here my constructor is a private constructor. Now what is happening if I create an object of new B? It shows a error. A has a private access in. Because of this, anyway, if you make your member as private or constructor as private, then you are not able to access in the child. Wherever, only in the class where you are declaring, there only I can do. So here again A and this. Here what is the problem? Uh, Listen here. So private A and here we have a. Again this, anyway it is private, but it is not possible. The duplicate will not possible. Okay, this is also A, this is also A. You can see A is already defined in A. Almost I defined So not able to redefine it again with the same. If you want to redefine it, you have to give the another parameter to be there. Okay. When superclass has a parameter constructor, fine. Now int b double c. Now you can see it does not match any constructor. It takes one single argument, doesn't it takes two arguments. So if I was trying to call new b 10 comma 8 comma 6, cannot find symbol, it is saying. Because this is because your parent must have a, whenever you are calling a object of the child, it first call the parent. In the parent, it just match and check whether it has a common constructor or it doesn't have, it throws this type of error. Okay, same way we are having here also, it calls a super a and it is showing, this is now it is calling it the same example, previous example. If you call the super of a here, super of some value, then it will not give any problem. Okay, the same case we are doing here, super of a and b and this dot b, this dot c. Okay, so here a values also get 8 is applied to the a and b 10 is applied to b and 8.6 is applied to c. Okay. Okay, if any problem is given over here, now we will listen. Class A, private int A and protected string name. Okay, and we have constructor, parameterized constructor. But here also the constructor parameter is not matching in the parent and the child. Here int A and string n, it has another four parameters are there. But here we are writing one statement super of a comma n. So this program have, and now this A is having a private access. A is a private in class A. So we are not directly accessing in the child like A over like this. So call to print from super dot A. So for what we are supposed to do, super dot print we are supposed to do. So now b1 dot show, it is printing output like this. Okay. So this is, for this the main method is this one. Can be used to call superclass constructor. Same thing is repeated. Okay, so yeah, now coming to the polymorphism. Okay, so polymorphism means many shapes or polymorph. Okay, poly means many, shapes means morph means shapes. In Java it refers to multiple method with the same name in the same class or in the different class. Two or more method with different signature, or overriding means replace an inherited method with another having a same signature. Okay, the ability to take on different forms. Any object I want to make it in different form, I can use it. And an invoke method to without knowing the object type. If I don't know the object type also, then also I can do the polymorphism. Now you can see animal. Animal, every see, you can say dog is a pet animal, cat is again pet, fish is again somewhere like aqua fish, like that animal. So here dog have a different types. You don't know dog, mutt is a dog, but we don't know the animal. Okay, so this way animal is in different forms. Dog is a dog, but it has a different way. A fish is a goldfish and beta fish or something. My mutt is a type of mutt, I know that. My animal is a type of animal. My dog is a type of dog. But my dog is a my animal is my mutt. That is the point. Okay. Polymorphism seems incorrect. The left and right hand side of assignment seems odd. Since mutt inherits from dog inherits from animal, it all times a dog and an animal. In both the case, you are supposed to say mutt is a dog and also an animal. So it's perfectly. This makes logical real world sense. An illegal example, you are simply saying mutt is an animal or my mutt is my animal. So it's illegal. Okay, method calls and polymorphism. Directly, we can call it assume a dog inherit animal class, define the make noise method considering following. So my dog, my animal, like we did the extents, we can do with that. Okay, so this is a simple example and best example to understand a polymorphism. Bank account, saving account, checking account. Saving account may be a cool saving and CD account, and checking account have a money market account and current account. Okay, so how we can do this? It's separate queues we have n numbers of. We can maintain only one queue of bank accounts. Okay. So how we can do? John account is a type of checking. Paul account is type of Paul account have another type CD account also. George is having another and Ringo is having another content. So here I was following different type of contents as a parameter. It is giving somewhere like different. Okay, so let us do with a simple example how to implement a polymorphism. Okay, many forms, an object with the many forms and reduce complexity to given different name to a methods. Okay, how to implement it as I mentioned by implement a method or a constructor with the same name, different parameter implemented in the same class. That is a overloading. I can do the constructor also get overloaded. How to do that? Okay, I'm giving new project. I'm writing constructor overloading. See, and we'll see the method overloading also. Let me create a class calculator only here. The class calculator and I have a void add method, and for a calculator method see for that I am getting number 1, number 2, okay, and here I am going to create a constructor. So right click, insert code, go to constructor. It asks you to add a parameter. I am not adding any parameter now. So now again I'm insert code, I'm adding another one more constructor. Here I am adding a number 1 as a parameter and here I'm adding another one, and here the constructor and number 1, number 2 both as a construct. Okay, so here in this basically I'm calling this. Okay, currently I'm not doing this, let it be. So number 1 equal to default value. If you want to set in the constructor, I am setting it in the non-parameters constructor. Number 2 again I make it as 0 or else some number we'll put 20. So by default if it is calling this method, it is taking a 30 only. So for printing that we are s out number 1 plus number 2. Here for addition I am giving the sum is okay this way. Now create an object of my calculator. CALC is equal to new calculator. Now you can see there are the different type of calculator. Now just match your overloading concept with the same name. Everything has the same name, different parameter where it is implemented in the same class only. So this is called basically a constructor overloading. What is this? This is called a constructor overloading. And now here simply I am calling this. Okay, and now if you run this, sorry, just call your add method, then you come to know. And I put a breakpoint to identify which constructor it is invoking. Control Shift F5. Okay, just press F5. Number 1 10, number 2 20 values assigned. It calls a add method. Okay, so you people see 10 and 20 is added here, and this calculator 10 and 20 is called. Now some values called, it print 10 and 20 because you have to put it in bracket. Let me check whether it is printing properly. Now it is printing because this is a string. When you are concatenating a string with any number, it takes as a string only, okay, by default. So that's why it is printing 10 20. So you have to put it in the bracket like this. Okay, So now let us create another object of a calculator to call a single parameter constructor. Now see, I just want to pass a value of num1. Okay, so num1 value is passed and I'm calling. So before it takes 10, now it's 34 plus 24. It's supposed to give 54. Or I say here is again 30. 10 is replaced with 30 and here I'm passing calc1 dot add. Okay, again it is saying sum is 30. Why? Because 30 I'm storing number 1. From here it is taking num and number 1 is taking this, but while going here it is taking 30. Okay, right. Let me check. Here it is getting what value? 10 and 20. Fine. So if you call this number 2, number 1 getting 20. Okay. And once I call this number 2. So, okay. So sum is 20 it is showing. Why? Because currently it's 20 it is showing. So calculator dot add 20 plus 20 is supposed to be 40. Fine. Hmm. For doing this, let me print my value of okay, put breakpoint is fine, but still let us understand the flow here. Here for understanding, I am printing a first number 1 value also. Okay, then we can come to understand. Number 1 10, number 2 20, number 2 become 0 because why become 0? Because here it is not getting a value number 2, so that's why it is printing 20 plus 0. So the third case of creating an object of and calling a two parameters constructor, can see 2 equal to new calculator. It's supposed to be 20 comma 30. So now you are getting 50 properly. Okay, now call the calc2 dot and now print it 10 20 30 20 0 20 and 20 plus 30 50. Yes, so this is how we can implement a constructor overloading, right? So in same way, now add is having nothing, no parameters, but what I was going to do, add have some parameter like this result, and here result is equal to number 1 plus number 2. Okay, and what I want to do here, I am adding result only, but I want to do number 1 plus number 2 also, or number 1 plus I made it as into for just understanding. Okay, and here I am writing printing the result here. Result is plus, I'm passing result. So if I call this add method, now understand this. Understand this. So result I'm passing less or equal to number 1. like this. If I'm passing some value, that value is added in the number one. Okay, basically my number one have some value. As I can say here, depends upon that. And I'm creating another one object here for calling a second add method. Here the method is get overloaded. So calc3 equal to new calculator. Here I am passing that first one, that is 30, and calc3 dot add. I'm passing result. Here I'm passing some value 80. So suppose my value must be a 110. See how I only call check this. From here it is going. I'm passing a result value as something. What I'm passed here 30. So 30 plus okay, here 30 plus, and the result value is 80. 80 plus 30 is become 110. So now we can call in this way also. Okay, so now again you see add is a method with the same name, different parameter. Here what is happening? Method overloading. So this way we can implement a overloading in polymorphism. So on how we can what is the name of overloading? Matlab, which concept is you for overloading? Static polymorphism implemented by overloading. The last part we will see today is a overriding. Okay, so for that almost I did one example, so let us go for it. Okay, this is an animal class. I made it as abstract class here. You know, if animal, so we can say everyone has a food habit, but we don't know which food habit it has. Okay, so depends upon the animal, it varies. Fine. So for that, food habits is not only declared. The implementation is done in a cat class, and four legs is a common concrete method I am using here. Concrete class. Okay, and the system of four-legged animal. And now the cat extends animal, and cat is having a push. Okay, here what I did, the method with the same name implemented in the child class. Same name, parameter also remains same, return type also remains same, but implemented in a child class. This is nothing but the overriding. So once you once you create an object of a class, you can call a food habits. Which method it's called? Okay, so what I was doing, I simply comment this. Okay, now we can see food habits is called by us. Almost we discussed that if a parent doesn't have an implementation, you call the child, and if the child does not have the method, it calls the parent method. Like this output you are getting, half fish is in the child, the parent, and four-legged animals is in the parent. Fine. If your four legs is overridden over here, it called the child method. So for getting the detail, just go back and see. So almost we discuss about this. And now what I was doing, upcasting I am doing, parent object is created. Now in this case what will happen, the same output you will get, half fish and four-legged animal. No changes about this. So this is how we are overriding the methods of, only method can be overridden, your constructor does not get overridden. Okay, so inheritance method can override, but constructor cannot be, because constructor, yesterday we saw the rules of constructor. Constructor have the same name as class name, because the constructor has the same name as the class name. Okay, so this is the reason why we are not able to overriding a constructor. That means if you override the constructor in the child, okay, the child only we are overriding the method. Okay, the constructor, if you want to override, that must be in the child. But if you are not able to see, if I want to write animal like this is what here I want to put a override or something. Here you can see rename animal to cat. It is so because it know the constructor must be the same name as the class name. So compiler will not allow to do it. So compile time error it will throw. Okay. So this is what about your third module, which is the OOPS properties, about the four main OOPS property: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Here encapsulation is not dependent on anything because it is hiding data. No need to give to anyone. If it is planned to give, it use a public or a getter or setter method. And abstraction hiding the implementation, and it is implemented by abstract class and the method, and how to declare it, almost we saw the example. And inheritance, and your abstraction is dependent on your inheritance. Okay, and inheritance is four types, so we need to know the four types with simple example. And polymorphism with many forms, and it has a type, and why we are using this to reduce the complexity of providing different name to the method. To identify is very difficult. See, now see, here also I am providing add method where it is basically, sorry. So here also I am providing area, and here also I am providing area. Why I want to give the different name? Okay, so to overcome that we are using a same name. And now we saw one example, constructor overloading, add method is here, and the same name I was doing, only I am changing the parameter. So this will be lead to a very the problems of identifying and creating, because whenever you are creating any method new with a new object, new memory is allocated for that. If you are using a overloading or overriding method, same memory is allocated, but whenever you are calling a child or a parent, so the same memory is allocated for both the cases. So as you can see, when I was running this program, either it called this side or this side, so it knows which to call first. Okay, here what is happening, if I was using this, okay, here it is identify. Now I can understand calculated add means it called this method, so I am identifying in the early way. So this is actually called the early binding. So this is nothing but the early binding, that's why the name is given early binding or static binding. And what is a late binding? So go over here in the animal. Here you can see the first case I understand, but still c dot four legs. I don't have a four legs method in my cat, but still I have a method in a parent. So here I don't able to, once looking for it, I am not able to identify which method is called. Here anyway I identify, but in this case I create an object of a parent in through upcasting. If you are doing, you are not able to identify which method is called. So a dot food habits is given, so I don't know which food habits. A means it goes to child or parent, here it got a confusion. So this is nothing but the late binding. So that means it is decided at runtime, and early binding is decided at compile time. Fine. So this is how we can implement this all the four parts. Okay, so so please go through this video for understanding all the concepts. Okay, and at the end please try to solve the assignments. Okay, so if any doubts you can discuss with me. Okay.